Good morning, everybody. I haven't seen the news reports, but we are praying and trusting and hoping that the truce, the ceasefire is holding. That we won't need more massive destruction to say it's time to stop. Hey, Rocco. We'll have to catch up sometime. I know Rocco since 1979, I think. That's 46 years ago. So we have a very big story today. About Abraham's questioning God if he's really going to have an heir. If God's promise will be fulfilled. And then we have a very strong message to all those who claim to speak for God. And they're all of us who teach our faith, from parents to catechists to priests and bishops and all those who are putting up messages on the social media about the faith. We're sharing messages. In a certain sense, we're all called by these words today to see if we're giving fruit. Would you expect to find some apples here on these trees? Or some pears? They're eucalyptus trees. And if we come over here and find some wild bushes, we won't expect to find the fruit in them that we would expect from good berry trees or other trees. I'm wondering if I should venture further away. I guess I don't know the news, so I'll just stay here in this area, not too far away, as we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. And since I don't know the news, what's going on, hopefully there is confidence growing that peace can be attained. So I don't think you're going to come out here to reap strawberries. That's a sign that there should be comfort that this airplane is flying up there. It's a recreational aircraft. So That's telling me then that the guy who flew that plane, flying that plane, he has checked the news this morning. So let's go a little further afield. The fruit in our lives, the transformed fruit, the transformed hearts, transformed relationships, growing kindness, self-giving, gentleness, helpfulness. These are the fruits of transformation of the gospel and God's word. And they're part of the evidence that everyone who speaks for God must bring to bring good fruit, to let it develop in our lives. And that's the fruit that Abraham brings. He's in his late 70s. God has promised him children. He's entering a moment of crisis and doubt if that will ever be fulfilled. And God is building up toward a covenant with him. Well, it's already made as well. In an earlier chapter we didn't have yesterday because of the attention given to John the Baptist. An incredible figure also in the history of salvation, a man of extraordinary faith and a transformed life. And Abraham believed in God. Count the stars. Some commentators observed that after this conversation Abraham had with God, the sun set. Well, if the sun set after God said to him, look at the stars, then this means that when God said to Abram, go out and count the stars, he couldn't see a single one. Tim Gray also makes this point this morning in his commentary. The Augustine Institute, I mentioned it in the notes there. And that summary line that God credited righteousness to Abraham because of his faith is a very powerful line that it's used also in a very strong leveraging way by St. Paul. The importance of faith. But it's not just the faith of a moment, it's the faith of a lifetime. It's the faith that afterwards, when Isaac would be born, Abraham was ready to sacrifice him. Abraham kept going every day, moving with his flocks, resolving disputes with Lot, living a life conformed by the covenant with God, the covenant with his family, the way he treated Lot, with his detachment from material gain. He let Lot choose the better part. There's some type of crow convention going on. I didn't get the memo, so I'm not sure what their assembly is about. And there we all know our own weakness, and we know that we need grace to have this response of faith. And we can say to the Lord, Lord, increase my faith. I believe, increase, and take care of my unbelief. We don't have to be Tarzans in the spiritual life because somebody else is doing it in us. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. I will make your reward very great. And his reward was not just the sheep and the camels and the land, and even the children that he would have. As wonderful as that is, his reward is much more the friendship with God forever. That we have no idea how to measure that relationship with God, the bliss God will give us, the fulfillment. We are just tasting the appetizers here. There must be some big assembly going on. Maybe they're celebrating the peace agreement. And God helps Abraham to recall all the things he has done so far in his life. And then there's this famous sacrifice to seal the covenant. One of the great moments in the history of salvation. And it's that one person, Abraham, with God. The importance of that moment that each of us commits to God. After reviewing all God has done in our lives, filled with gratitude, and renew that awareness of God's presence in our lives and how our lives are totally tied up with Him. What a great moment of personal maturity. And there's still a whole life to live in the light and the strength of that covenant. God is part of our lives, the founding part, the constituting strength of our lives that puts us together, that knits us in the womb, like we had in yesterday's Isaiah text. This God who is completely for us. And then as Christians we see the expression of that on Calvary. The blood of the new covenant poured out for us. I will provide the lamb of sacrifice, because we are not even capable. He does it. And all of that to foster in us that great sense of belonging to God, of being His, of receiving that amazing, amazing gift of His presence in our lives. He is with us. The Lord remembers his covenant forever is our psalm, Psalm 105. What a powerful word. We often forget our covenants. We readjust. We recalibrate, we recalculate, we reset the terms. We dispose of the covenant. We just seek personal advantage many times. We are weak. Let this be a moment of great renewal today, this new morning. And the fruits in our lives will be present. And our word will be a word of good witness wherever we are, especially the word of our deeds that speak louder than words, more powerfully than words. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. It's great to be alive. It's great to be aware of our Creator and Redeemer. It's great to be among a community of people who believe, who hope, who love. See you later, alligators.